Wine labels can often be confusing when buying or drinking wine. However, by learning just a few key words and numbers, you'll be able to understand the essential information that tells you what's in the bottle, where it comes from, and who made it. Our goal at Elicite is to remove the confusion surrounding fine wine, focusing on the key facts and the incredible stories of people that make it so fascinating. We sent our 3 explorers, Diego, Cheba and Stephanie, to France, the home of fine wine, to visit the regions of Champagne, Burgundy and Bordeaux to learn exactly how to understand wine labels.
So I'm here in Bordeaux and I've got to say I'm full of questions.
I'm here to meet as many experts as I can here in Burgundy.
Let's taste some champagne and let's meet the winemakers.
All great wines have 3 key pieces of information written on their labels. Firstly, the producer, or simply put, who made the bottle of wine. It could be a brand, someone's family name, or the name of their estates or vineyards. Second, the year or vintage of the wine. A vintage means that the wine is made from grapes only harvested within a single year. So if you see a specific year on the label, it means that all the grapes were picked in that year. The third key fact is the place from which the grapes have come from, which might well differ from where the wine was actually made. All wines will state on the label the country in which they were produced, as well as the region within that country that the grapes have come from. Some countries, such as France and Italy, use a strict system of appellations to define where the grapes have come from. An appellation is simply a legally defined geographical area that is used to specify where wine grapes are grown. Appellations vary greatly in size though, and may define a whole region such as Champagne, a small area or commune such as Pomerol near Bordeaux, or even a single vineyard like Romanée-Conti in Burgundy. We cover appellations in depth in the Essentials Understanding Appellations video. Diego, with very little knowledge about sparkling wine, visited a number of champagne houses to understand more about the specific terms on champagne labels. Diego caught up with Jean-Emmanuel Bonnaire, who runs his family-owned labels Paul Clouet and Bonnaire, with his brother, to understand why the vast majority of champagne produced doesn't state a year or vintage on the label and is referred to as NV instead.
NV means non-vintage. You could also call it multiple vintage, because non-vintage means the wine is not coming from one single vintage, but it's a blend of different vintage.
Many champagne houses, particularly the larger brands like Charles Heidsieck, create non-vintage champagne that is made to be consistent year after year and defines their house style. But producers may also make non-vintage champagnes in years that don't have good growing conditions.
Some years, my grapes have disease or receive hail. Some of my vineyards are not in a good spot.
So it's a backup.
Yeah. There is some grapes I prefer to sell. I have the cash to buy grapes in good spots in the village here. It's better in my blend than in someone else.
Diego also asked about the word Brut, which is often written on champagne labels.
This is a reference to the dosage of the wine. It's an addition of wine and sugar that you put at the end before to put the definitive cork. Brut is the most common one. It means you have less than 12 grams of sugar per liter. But you can also find extra brut, which will be between 0 and 6, and demi-sec is very sweet champagne.
Champagne labels are relatively easy to understand because the whole of the Champagne region is actually a single appellation. Some regions may have many different appellations, which may all vary in size, ranking, and quality. We sent Cheba to Burgundy, which has over 80 appellations, to discover other key information that may be on a wine's label, such as what type of producer made the wine. Cheba went to visit Remoissonnet to speak to their president and former right-hand to famous wine critic Robert Parker, Pierre Ravani.
What does the word domain on a label signify?
So you'll see a number of things on a label. If it says domaine, it means that the wine is produced from vineyards that are owned and farmed by that estate. If you see the word chateau, it has to do with there being an edifice that is viewed as being a chateau. Négociants are wineries that purchase either wine, must, which is unfermented grape juice, or they purchase grapes.
An increasing number of wine producers are proudly putting the word or symbol organic on their labels. Stephanie found out from Nicolas Pomereau, the vineyard manager at Smith Haute Lafitte, what it means to go organic.
Nothing chemical.
Nothing chemical,
Right.
natural.
For me, that's the definition of it. Organic, nothing chemical, everything is natural.
Once you've mastered the art of finding producer, appellation and vintage on French wine labels, try deciphering the labels of wines from other countries. Even the more complex ones will have these 3 vital pieces of information. At the end of the day, don't be afraid of wine labels because they generally aren't as complicated as you might think.